have a question, right? I always start my videos off with questions. Who is the most powerful person in a traditional kingdom? Not a fucking monarchy with the parliament and the prime minister. I mean, like, kingdom-wise, right? For those of you that said the king, you would be wrong. It is actually the queen. And why do I say that? Because the woman secretly runs everything in the background. She is the one that the king is most vulnerable around. You know, the king might have a concubine or two, but his queen is, you know, his queen. So you don't think the king's having pillow talks with his queen, doing a bunch of shit. You don't think that how she feels and her emotions on certain things, you don't think that impacts the king and his decision making? Like, this is why too, it's important that we have strong men, because during times of war, during times of panic, the times of despair, when you're laying, right, say you have a wife, and you're laying with your wife, and so you have a family, you have kids, not only are you going to want to, like, and say that we're at war, all right, not only are you going to have that instinct to want to defend your family, but at the same time, if that woman starts to get scared of the conflict, not only because she's not thinking of just losing everything, she's also going to take into effect of what's going to happen to her. War is a very gruesome thing. A lot of things happen during war that we don't have to get into detail for. I'm pretty sure if you've opened a history book, and I mean way more than just people getting chopped up, blown up, and shot at. Like, a lot more ruthless, inhumane shit that every fucking nation takes a part in when it comes to war, okay? Now, your veteran grandfathers may not speak behind it, or your veteran buddies, maybe they never partook in it, but they probably know of stories of shit, of knowing what I'm talking about happening. Now, the woman is going to be thinking of that happening to her and her family. There's a robin outside I'm looking at. Now, that fear, right? If her fear, her emotions and her energy can, you know, if you're with her, can affect you and your decision making. So her fear can actually make you afraid and can, you know, fuck up what you got going on in terms of wanting to go out there and defend your family. I know it sounds very cryptic and like hard to comprehend, because it's like I'm just spewing it out, but it's there. If you're following me, you're following me. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that goes back to with the king, the queen, and the kingdom. So if the queen feels like a certain decision that the king is about to make isn't good, and her, like, you know, her emotions are gonna influence the king to do and not do certain fucking things. So realistically, the queen has the most power in the kingdom. That's why people, like, you know, it was Jezebel and Samson, or Jezebel and Ahab, and Samson and Delilah, I think it was. Like, it's throughout and not, those are just biblical references, which is the Bible is literally just called the book. It's literally a history book. It's all throughout, it's prevalent all throughout in society. Nations have literally crumbled over the power of pussy, bro. This shit is serious. So, like, women have a lot of power. Like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Don't sit here and think I'm being misogynistic. No, that is a very good thing, you know. But they have more power than we really think and comprehend. Because the shit is, it's real. Like, you know, if you have a bad woman in your ear, you could really fuck your life up. You know, you don't have to be a kingdom of a whole nation for a woman to ruin your life. And the same can be for a man, for a woman. You could have a really shitty guy, and the guy could really fuck your life up too. It goes both ways. But the women have a lot of power. They really do. Like, that man, like, if a man is running through a woman's life, like, if you're one of those guys that lives off a woman and does all that shit, bro, you're a bum. You're not a king. So that king shit does not apply to you, nigga. You are a peasant, okay? But for the women that have kings in their lives, he may not run a nation, but that is your king. And you have to understand that your emotions and you influence the decisions that he makes. So you have to make sure that he's always making the right decisions, not just based off sometimes how you feel. That's why, like, for example, you might have a girlfriend and she might not like that you like to pretty yourself up all the time before you go outside. Is because she don't want you to look best for the next bitches that's out there. You know, that makes sense. She might feel like that. But are you going to then take that and not make sure you look clean and up to date and nice and presentable when you go outside? No, you shouldn't do that. But there's probably niggas out there that would listen to that and be like, you know what, I already got a girl. Why do I got to try? Like, no, nigga, just because you got a girl don't mean you got to stop trying to look good. just have some self-control and not be fucking with the bitches out there unless that's your thing. I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but you know, women, if you have a man in your life, just make sure that you're a very powerful figure in their lives, and just make sure that you're his motivation and not his downfall. You're his uplifting, it's not his downbringing, okay? Because the shit is, it's just real. And like, you don't believe me, or if you don't understand what the fuck I'm saying, you have yet to live life. I'm young and I still haven't lived too much of life. I got a lot of life to live. I know there's probably a lot of people that are way older than me that watch my content, but I think you would know. Those that know, and I'm pretty sure we all know. What do you think? You think I'm spewing bullshit? You think I'm spinning facts? Let me know.